everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So, the Cube trilogy, it's not a case of, same old, same old. Sure, the second movie was very similar to the first movie, but Cube Zero, they tried a lot of very new things with this, and I really liked that they did that, despite, this movie not having very good execution of said new invention of, the storytelling. But we're gonna find out today what this movie is about. How does it differ from the other movies? This is Cube Zero. Cube Zero begins what must be considered one of the most gruesome deaths I've ever seen in any movie, any genre, any decade. Jesus Christ, if you're just a little bit squeamish, look away from the first killing, because that one was, oof, that was brutal as fuck. Anyway, this very brutal as fuck, very gruesome death is being monitored by two people who's sitting in this very small little office somewhere underground. We have basically, the more rotund guy who follows company line, and we have the chess playing nerd who is more of a free thinker. But they're monitoring, these cubes and what happened to the people in there, and they're delivering results to the people upstairs and stuff like that. And he discovers that there is a woman inside of the cube that is not supposed to be there. Apparently, this is some kind of an experiment, and she has apparently not, volunteered to do this. You volunteer to go into the cube? Anyway, never mind about that. So he argues, that they have to help her out of the cube, and the other guy responds to, no, we can't do that, it's not company policy to do so, and what happens if the guys upstairs finds this out, it's gonna be a problem for both of us. While they are bickering and stuff like that, we do have the usual local yokels who are running around inside of this hard box of hard knocks and experiencing the traps and the paranoia and the fear and trying to deduct how to get out of this thing. We've all seen that before, and it isn't as good as the original Cube. You could even argue that it's not even as good as Cube 2. But after about 45 minutes of some rather lackluster events inside of the Cube, despite being quite decent, something happens. We introduced an entirely new character to this movie, and I love him so fucking much. He is one of the coolest and most awesome characters I've ever seen. He comes out of nowhere and turns the entire thing upside down and almost transforms this movie into a totally new and different genre. It's fucking great. I do love the fact that we're seeing, the cube from different aspects, and they were riding quite high for the rest of the movie on, this new version of what the cube can be. Now, they did not deliver a very good ending, however, which has to knock a few points off this one, but it was at least a new experience. It felt new and it felt fresh comparing to the underwhelming, lackluster second movie. I think that Cube Zero is supposed to be taking place, before the events of the two first movies, making this a prequel. But on the other hand, I don't know if we really have a, true timeline when it comes to the Cube movies, or if this is, supposed to be taken individual, or if this is a completely different animal altogether. So should you see this movie? Well, I will say this. You only need to view really the first Cube movie, because that movie is fucking awesome. But if you're going to see one more movie in the Cube franchise, this is the one you should see, because it is unique. It has some different takes to the whole thing, and it, as I said, has very memorable characters. That's a basic same things that you've seen in the previous ones. So if you want to see more of that, you will see more of that. But the lack of good production value and the lack of good actors hurts this movie severely. But nevertheless, it is an entertaining piece of nonsense that is better than its reputation would suggest. It's not fantastic, and as I said, the ending hurts this movie in several ways, because it leaves you with a lot of questions that you just feel a little bit, what? So what does that mean? What does this mean? But there are moments in this movie where you feel like, ooh, I want to see where this one's going. But as I said, it is a decent sequel, or if it is a prequel. But if you've seen just, you know, the first two, see this one. But if you've seen just the first Cube movie, it's probably for the best to leave it that way, because that movie is fantastic. This movie is quite good and much better than I expected it to be, but still, it has a bunch of things that doesn't do this movie any favors whatsoever, but it was quite decent. Cube Zero gets 58 points. There are absurd events and characters, and there are a lot of very good tension to this one, but it also has a lot of cliches that, you know, the original Cube and the second movie was saddled with. So if you have some concerns regarding that, do skip this movie. So I'll see you next time for, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.